How are you, parents and guardians? Today, let's learn what are fine motor skills and gross motor skills. Let's talk about motor skills first. Motor skills are the skills that enable the movements and tasks we do on a daily basis. It is when your little bookbug is using their muscles to make movements and perform an action that need to be enhanced and developed more by practice and experience. There are two categories of motor skills: fine motor skills and gross motor skills. Now, what are fine motor skills? Fine motor skills are the set of skills that your babies can do and learn with the use of their small muscles in different parts of their body, mostly in their hands, wrists, fingers, and also in their feet and toes. Some examples of fine motor skills are holding a pencil, feeding themselves, turning pages, zipping, waving, turning doorknobs, and even blinking. It requires more concentration to practice fine motor skills than gross motor skills. Therefore, it is being learned by babies later than gross motor skills. That's why babies usually learn to pick up objects with their hands or feed themselves after they start crawling, walking, standing, rolling over, or sitting up. Fine motor skills require more concentration because these activities need hand-eye coordination. Hand-eye coordination is the ability when your babies need to synchronize or coordinate their hands' movements to their eyes' movements. It means that if they're doing a fine motor task, they need to look at what they're doing and guide their hands using their eyes and be aware of the position and movements of their hands and fingers, which is something difficult to achieve because babies and toddlers tend to have short attention span. Once they master their gross motor skills, they can start focusing on their fine motor skills. But take note that some babies may start learning both fine motor skills and gross motor skills at the same time. Is it important to learn fine motor skills? Of course it is. These skills will help your babies prepare for the daily tasks they would need to do while growing up. And if parents don't encourage them, it can affect their independence on their early years. Academic skills will also be inadequate. Play choices will be limited that could lead to social difficulties both with family members and friends. And all of that can cause your child to have low self-esteem. If their independence is affected, they will have a hard time doing things they need to do to take care of themselves, such as eating, washing hands, or wearing clothes by themselves. For the academic skills, it will be affected if they can't hold a pencil or eraser properly. Limited play choices can lead to not making friends or worse, being bullied. It is also vital that they continue practicing their fine motor skills as there is the possibility of losing those skills if unused for a period of time. The good thing about engaging in fine motor activities is it can be taught by the parents themselves to their children and strengthen their bond. Now, for the gross motor skills. These are activities that will require your babies to use their large muscle group. They would need to do broader and wider movements and therefore would need a lot of energy and strength for their whole body. Some gross motor skills that a baby can develop very early would be standing, walking, balancing, rolling over, sitting up, or jumping. Just like fine motor skills, some gross motor tasks can also require hand-eye coordination, such as throwing or catching a ball or kicking a ball to a goal. Babies tend to learn gross motor skills first, then fine motor skills, since most gross motor skills don't require hand-eye coordination. And it's easier for parents to check the gross motor development of their babies because parents usually can't wait to see their child roll over, sit up on their own for the first time, take their first step, walk independently, and start running. Compared to fine motor skills, gross motor skills stay the same even after a duration of non-use. It is better to encourage developing a child's gross motor skills early on to strengthen the muscles of their body since gross motor activities are like physical exercises for them. It can help them feel confident and get more comfortable with their body while playing outdoors and doing a lot of daily tasks. It would also help them determine their strengths and which part they need to improve on a task or sport. If a child's gross-motor skills aren't developed properly, it could also lead to difficulties in doing daily functions, academic learning, and socializing. Daily functions like walking and running without tripping, standing and sitting straight, standing on one leg to wear pants, climbing up and down a sloped hill, and carrying a heavy school bag are all affected by gross motor skills. A child's stable posture can also affect his fine motor tasks like writing and can also affect his listening and attentiveness at class lectures. Not being able to play sports properly could also limit their socialization. Gross motor skills can be divided into three subgroups: locomotor, non-locomotor, and the manipulative skills. Locomotor are the activities where your child has to move from one place to another, such as running, swimming, and sliding. Non-locomotor are the activities where your child can just stay in one place while doing broad movements. Examples are swinging their arms back and forth, bending, and shaking. The manipulative skills are activities where your child has to do gross motor movements in order to move or use an object. Throwing a ball or playing jump rope are examples of manipulative skills. It will be a good idea to design games and play that can help your child's gross motor skills. They can play games that can be done inside the house and outside in the yard too. Take them to playgrounds or kiddie obstacles. Ride bike with them. Play sports with them. Use water guns and play in the yard. Jump rope with them. There are many enjoyable things you can do with your little book bugs. But since we are having a serious pandemic right now, just strategize games that can be done in your yard or house until you are sure that the pandemic has ceased and we are all safe, especially your children, to go and enjoy outside. I hope I was able to enlighten you all about fine motor and gross motor skills. Thank you so much for watching, and please remember that whatever activities, toys, books you let your kids use and do, always keep an eye on them. Check the age restrictions, follow the instructions, check the hazards, and anything that could endanger them even in the tiniest bit of chance. If you've enjoyed this video, check out my channel and subscribe now. Until next time, love, the book bug.